I must confess that many Nigerian parents love their children deeply. In fact, they would sacrifice everything for them, work themselves to exhaustion, go hungry for days, endure hardship for them. Their love is often unquestionable. But love and psychology are not always the same thing. Because many Nigerian parents are raising children while carrying fears they have not healed from. Fear of poverty, fear of shame, fear of failure, fear of social humiliation. You understand? They carry these things quietly in them. And those fears have, quietly shaped how parenting is being carried out in the Nigerian society. If you think about most of the phrases Nigerian children grow up hearing, like "look at your mates," "do you want to suffer in life," "do you want people to laugh at this family," "after all I've done for you," "don't disgrace me," these phrases are so common that people even hardly notice them anymore. But if you look closely, most of them are built around fear of failure, fear of comparison, fear of public embarrassment, fear of economic insecurity. Why? Because most parents were shaped by harsh realities. They grew up in environments where one mistake could have very serious consequences, where education was often the only perceived escape route for poverty, where social reputation mattered, where economic survival was uncertain. So, parenting became less about self-discovery and more about protection. The intention was often good. Parents wanted their children to succeed, to avoid suffering, to have opportunities they never had. But sometimes the method created unintended consequences, because when a child grows up constantly hearing comparison, they may begin, linking their worth to achievements. And when a child is praised only when they perform well, they may begin to believe that love is earned. Love must be earned. I have to work hard to earn love. You understand? So when a child is taught to fear failure above everything else, they may become afraid to take risk. And when emotional vulnerability is treated as weakness, many children learn to suppress their feelings. This creates adults who know how to achieve but do not know how to rest. Adults who know how to survive. They know how to survive but struggle to understand themselves. Adults who chase success relentlessly yet never feel enough, because deep inside of them, they are still trying to satisfy standards that were never fully theirs. You understand? Think about how many people today are still driven by childhood comparison, still trying to prove something, still trying to avoid this disappointing invisible audiences. People don't even care, but you are still trying to prove some things to them. You are still carrying pressure from years ago. You understand? Pressure from years ago. Most parents were doing the best they could with what they knew. Many were carrying burdens their own parents passed down to them. Fear travels through generation, just like wisdom, just like love, just like trauma. A father who grew up in poverty may become obsessed with financial insecurity. A mother who experienced humiliation may become obsessed with respectability. And without realizing it, they pass those anxiety to their children, not because they are bad people, but because unexamined fear often reproduces itself. And this is how generational patterns work. People inherit more than money. They inherit emotional habits, they inherit beliefs, they inherit worldviews, they inherit survival strategies, and sometimes those strategies continue long after the original danger has passed. The challenge for every generation now is to ask, which lessons should we keep and which fears should we release? You understand? Because children do not only need food or education or discipline. They also need emotional safety. They need space to make mistakes and space to discover who they are. Space to develop an identity beyond achievement. You understand? A healthy society raises children who are not only capable but are also emotionally whole. And perhaps the greatest gift a parent can give a child is not perfection, it is freedom. The freedom to grow without constantly feeling that their value depends on performance. Because human beings are more than their achievements. We are more than what we achieve. And children deserve to learn that before the world teaches them otherwise. Because after you are done with everything you are doing as a parent, the world is still coming for your child. It's a bigger stage, it's a bigger parenting stage. I don't know what to call that, but the world is still coming for your child. And if your child is not prepared, it might be disastrous. It might be very, very disastrous. Peace.